What's up, YouTube world? I usually start these videos off with shots out. Though that's my new thing right there. But on this video, I'm gonna get straight to it. I'm gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna give y'all the lay of the land. I'm gonna give everybody's a contextual understanding of what these stories are actually about, because I it would do something that somebody said, and I think people are missing the point. But I'm not going to go back down the road and say what it was said about, but I'm going to give y'all some understanding about something. Alto State Prison, that's where we're going to start at right now. This is exactly what we're going to start at. Alto State Prison. It was the most evil place that I've been to. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. To me, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. If people don't been down there and feel different, that's on them. To me, it was the most evil place I ever been to. Now, anything that you go through in prison is bad. I don't give a damn if you're locked up away from your family, unless there's something that you desire to do, and I had the slightest idea of why you would. Hey, man, congratulations. You found your niche in life. Me, I hated every second of being locked up in every prison that I've been to. But Alto was the most evil. Now, I'm going to tell you what good it was about. What was good about Alto? The good part was they had a great educational program. Probably one of the best in the post-incarceration in the state of Georgia. They had a very, very good vocational center, and they had a very, very good educational GED school. You had people in there that actually cared about the education of young men, regardless of their color, ethnic background, or whatever. They took time out. They would spend extra time there. They would pour into these kids, regardless of how bad they was or how bad they seemed. They would pour into these people and try to make sure that these guys got an opportunity to get an education. I can respect that. Past that, this is what made it bad. And you might say what it was, like the amount of violence. Well, here's the thing. Violence happened in every prison. I don't care what prison you go to, it's violence. After I left Alto, I went to 2 level 3 prison in another level 5 prison. And I seen every amount of violence there. I seen people get stabbed. I seen people get hit with locks. I seen people get cut with razors. I seen people week before I went home, well, not home, but to the halfway house, they had an indoor riot. In my dormitory, they had it was a big fight, stabbings and fighting and all that going on. And so violence happened, but that's not what made Alto so evil. Was the type of violence. The men getting violated by other men on such a grand level. And I had became so desensitized to it that at the moment, I just thought that how life was. What made me start really hating Alto and hating how it was, meaning that I knew then that I was living in the middle of some evilness that was had seeped into the essence of that place, was after I left and went to other prisons and seen how other people did their time. It gave me an understanding, a clarity that place was different. It was older. The mentality and the politics of that place were older, meaning these politics that had been passed down. See, when I started reading a lot of psychology books, I started understanding societal control. How do you control multiple people? You put them in a situation, and what people tends to do is follow whatever everybody else is doing, and then calling it norm. It's meaning that in there, it was normal. There, it was normal. It wasn't abnormal. Homosexuality was considered a norm. Nobody looked at you any different if you was doing that, unless you was like the girl in the relationship or the bottom person. That's the only way people look down at you. But other than that, it was accepted. But here's the crazy thing is about it. If you was to take 100 predators and line them up, and you was to ask them, say, hey, do you feel like that what you are doing makes you a homosexual? 80 of them going to say no. Because in their mind and how they think is that it makes them more of a man, more masculine, if they get another man to submit to them sexually. That's crazy, ain't it? But that's the truth. That's how people thought down there. You had so many people afraid to stand up and say, I'm not with neither or. I'm not going to be a boy, and I'm not going to be a predator. I'm not going to be either or. See, me, I was the type of person that was willing to be unalive or unalive somebody for my integrity. What I believe in is what I believe in. I'm willing to unalive a person or be unalive for my integrity, man. And I'm going to stand on that, man. I promise you, man. For my integrity, in that point in time in my life, I'm not no hard, extra gangster, thugged out. Anybody who ever did time, what you going to tell you, I've been on the same exact thing that I'm on now. That place was evil, bro. Plain and simple, man. And I used to often ask myself, why I'm here? I used to ask God, why I'm here? I'm starting to understand it now. I had to be there for I can be here. This is what he had chosen for me. This is my calling. This is what I'm giving to y'all. See, people think that when I do these stories, that I'm telling the story per se without a message, but I'm giving you a message. In my opening monologue, in my closing monologue, that's the message. This is what the video is about. The story is actual examples. It's the extremeness that it can happen to you. That's why I always make an example of how things can affect you on the street. I don't want to see nobody put in that position. The blessed thing is about it is that a lot of the things that goes on in prison, the politics have changed dramatically. And I'm going to tell you something. And I got receipts on everything I say. I played a part in that. I played a part in the politics in the prison system. I got some Bill Feasy people in the comment that said they follow him. You know how you say that on the door. We put somebody on the door. We started that. And Frank Scott, I'm going to bring a guy on who can verify that. I'm going to have him come on here. If I can get in contact with him, you know what I mean? My homie Big Nate, best day of my life. Best day of my life. If you don't came from that channel, I appreciate you coming over, but go back over and look for that Big Nate interview. That's the guy I'm talking about. And we started that behind something he had going on. But you know, I usually don't call nobody name, but he out there in the YouTube world, in the YouTube algorithm. Go back and check that video out. But I can bring receipts to it. I played an intricate part in that. We sat down as a group of guys, and the reason why I was saying the things that I was saying, I'm not going to say it on this right now. I'm going to actually tell the story about why I did what I did, but I want to give you everything that I faced up to that point was the reason why. Did it backfire? Yes. Because when you start putting all the other politics and everything else and the people being selfish and doing things their way, and I seen it before I left prison. But the purity of the reason why I did that is to try to eliminate men taking advantage of other men in that manner. Scars heal. I get in the fight with you, you whoop my ass, fine. I wore that ass whooping, whatever fat eye or busted lip or whatever I got, it gonna heal. My pride might be injured, but my manhood is intact. Because I'm still a man. Ain't nobody gonna look down at no man fighting another man and losing the fight. It ain't. Not no real man anyway, because it can happen to anybody. Mike Tyson was the baddest man on the planet at one point in time when he lost his first fight. Everybody gonna take an L. Ain't nobody gonna leave this goddamn world unscathed and undefeated. I can't whoop everybody. You can't either. But Alto was evil, bro. The lay of the land, man. How things transpired in there, man. A couple of stories how I tell y'all about the intricate plots that these people put together to take advantage of another man. Because in their mind, in their mental, it make them more masculine. I'm gonna tell you how I know this for a fact. Two reasons. I'm gonna give you some reasons. One, I once read a book, Make Me Wanna Holler. Make Me Wanna Holler. Go look at the book like the Marvin Gaye song, Make Me Wanna Holler. Go get that book, Make Me Wanna Holler. If you got time to sit down and read, I'm pretty sure they got the audio version of it. It was written by a senior editor at Washington Post. He had did 5 years in prison. And the similarities in that book, it was written back in this, well, it was when he was in prison, like late 60s, early 70s. It's crazy how prison politics then was so similar to Alto politics at that point in time when I first read the book, which gave me an understanding. I'm a deep thinker. I'm analytical. I started trying to. I'm a study of human beings and human goddamn mindsets. You know how people move. I look at this and I pay attention to it because I'm always, like I said, when I see something that's I feel like outside the norm, I stare at it because I'm trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to understand what put a person in that mindset. You know, to be blatantly outside the norm. It's not like if you are trying to let people, it's one thing to step in your own shadow and step in your own light, and then it's another thing when you do that and try to get everybody else to follow. You trying to be seen, you know what I mean? That's when I start realizing some mental flaws with you, because you confident in who you are. You are not trying to be seen. You are just accepted that this is who you are, and you move in that mindset. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get off subject. Alto was different, man. Like this, and another thing, it was another one. I was working in SMU. I remember I was working in SMU on the biggest predator that was down there, the most known predator down there, the predator that they used when I first came in diagnostic. First day of my worst day. Go check that out. First day of my worst day, that part 2 when I was talking about it. Go check that out. West Side Booty Bandit. The West Side Booty Bandit was a well-known. This is who they used to use per se to scare us up. To say, hey, put you up there at 14, let West Side Booty Bandit have his way with you. They ain't say it that nice, but you know I try to minimize cursing on this platform. But yeah, that's what they used to say. Put West Side Booty Bandit, let him have his way with you. All that, man. But check this out. This guy was over in the hole, and one day he just hauled out and said, I hate homosexuals. Now, here's a bandit now. I hate homosexuals. Every boy that I ever messed with was, I took it. That's what he said. Every boy that he ever messed with, he took what he wanted. And I thought about it. And you know what? I never seen this dude around on known homosexuals or no known turnout, no known boys. I never seen him hang out with them. Like when you go on the rec yard, you have guys out there. They be out bringing their towels, sit out there, and they be hooked up like they at the park having a picnic. Or they're feeding each other goddamn fudge around the honey bun. I'm no lie. I ain't kicking it. I ain't lying. This is what these folk were doing. Never paid it any attention because it had became a norm. I was desensitized from it. But I knew I wasn't gonna conform to it. I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't, and I have no issue with that. Matter of fact, it was dude that I would talk to on a daily that was like that messed with them, but they wasn't predators. They were just funny. They just liked the boys. You know what I mean? And I never had no issue with it, meaning that, hey man, that's what you got going on. That's what you got going on. But what I did have issue with, these guys trying to force themselves onto other guys. I did have issue with that because clearly this man don't want to be like that. Even if you saying that, oh, he just went for it or whatnot. Now, there's some dude that did some questionable things that put themselves in a position to be like that. And maybe they did internally want to be like that. Go back and check that big bad wolf out. Honestly, I think that dude really wanted to be that way. And when I think about it in hindsight, when I look back on it, when I told the story, then I can look at it and dive deeper because I'm older now and I'm more understanding, because, you know, it doesn't make any sense to put yourself in that situation. Then once it happened to you, and then you just conform. Dude already told the dorm not to mess with you. You just went on and did what you wanted to do anyway. You know what I mean? You just started doing it anyway and started getting money for it. So I felt like that's what you wanted to do anyway. Maybe that's what something that was always on your mind in the first place. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I literally don't know. And but Alto was evil though, man. It was a lot of evil that went on down there, man. You know what I mean? And the way they played clothes, man, is the way they played supposed to have clothes. Even though somebody was unalive, lost their life. And if you ask me, a statue of that man need to be put up in front of that place. And he should be a martyr. He sacrificed for so many souls that would have been scarred going through that evil place. But listen, in the middle of that, in the midst of that, and I can have people come on here, man, if you're listening to him, you come in there and verify what I'm finna say. I made a conscious decision in my mind before I left there to make a change of that place. When my name started ringing and my voice started meaning something, I used that for strictly to preach against that, to try to deter other young cats from making that choice. I wasn't trying to add to the predatory list. I was trying to subtract. I was trying to save as many of these people from getting in the middle of that. Did I save everybody? No. But if I saved one or two, damn it, there's one or two lists that were going to be involved in that. I didn't want to see that mess. I hated that place, man. I hated the people who did that. I dealt with y'all, man, because I had to. I'm around y'all in closing-in environment. True enough. And the thing was, they can make you feel like they cool. Because I'm saying when you sit down and talk to them on just kicking it, they funny. They just regular dude. They laugh, they joke, they all that. But then it's that other thing. It's that other thing, man. When they get what Buddy said on that Friday, you got a fish on the line, man. Nothing like it. You got that look in your eye, guys. You got that look in your eye, Triple OG. Ain't no fish on the line. Ain't nothing like it. That's how them boys were thinking, man. That's how they kept moving. And I just didn't dig it. And it was everywhere. All over the place. No matter where you went. You went to PMC. You went to B unit. From the old Lanex. E1 to F. E1 to G2. From 16 all the way to the 18. It was the same thing. In every dorm, you're going to find these guys. The way that they move might be different in B unit than they would in C unit. The way that they move in C unit might be different than B unit or A unit or wherever these places were. These people's there. And it's sad, bro, like the amount of evil that was in that place, man. And I call it evil because that's exactly what it was. Because the people in charge, the people who supposed to be protecting not only just society from us, but us from us, was in on it. They was down with it. And these dudes, I remember I had a conversation with these guys one time. It was a bunch of these little predator dudes, some guerrilla predators at that. And a couple finesse. We was in E-building. When I was sitting around, I'm telling them, like, man, these folk control this prison by using us to control us. These folk got us beat. They smarter than us. They outsmarting us. And these dudes we just had a whole debate argument. It was me against all them. And I was explaining to them that the main mentality of being so goddamn caught up in trying to attack each other, and that we was to come together, we would get some of the things that we desire here, Instead of goddamn doing that, we so just caught up in the mess of, ooh, look at the new boy. Ooh, he got a big old booty. Oh, I bet you I can get him. What kind of mess you got going on when you ain't even looking at the circumstances of your situation? Folks took your freedom, man. These folks done stripped you of your freedom. They done stripped you of your dignity. They done stripped you of your everyday right to goddamn be a human being. Did you do it to yourself? Might be. Yeah, you did it to yourself. You created this monster by goddamn committing the crime that you put you in the prison in the first place. But while you in there, why not try to make the best of it by making the best of your living situation? Who goddamn moves into a new house and tears it down? I never understood that. You start tearing it down. I'm going to start knocking the walls down. I'm going to start tearing the sinks up. I'm going to start doing everything I can to make this place as bad as worse as possible. So now what you're doing is you already got these guys miles away from their family being tortured even more by the same people, by your own people. And these people knew it because, you know, and I don't hate to use racing and something, but we was in North Georgia, so. And it was a majority white officers up there. And a lot of them ain't used to dealing with black people outside of being in prison. And a few correctional officers that be there with them. And so it was more the good old white boys who came into prison. If they wanted the police protection, the police would protect them. They would put them all in the one dorm together, in the most least aggressive dorm. They would. They would just put them all in there together. And they would all be in the same room. They weren't even trying to hide. And the few white boys that were left out there was the ones who done messed around and cussed one of them out and pissed them off, so they throw them to the wolves. Yeah, y'all have him. He don't want to act right. You know what I mean? But you can't have these folk. You know what I'm saying? Touch one of them and see what happens. But when a young black kid starts saying, I can't live somewhere, I'm signing a PC, I don't want to go in the dormitory, I don't care how long he sit over there in the hole. When they bring him out, they put him back in the same situation that he was in the first. I got stories about it. I got stories about it. And I'm going to tell these stories. Oh, that's not alcohol, too. I'm just letting y'all know. It's not alcohol. That is not alcohol. It's this new vitamin drink or something as I'm trying, you know what I mean, to help me, give me more energy. And because I usually take like a caffeine pill or something, but this one says it's supposed to be more healthier. I'm not going to call the name of it because I don't have a right to, but yeah. And it really helps. I ain't gonna lie, because I feel a little bit more energized today. But anyway, so anybody see this and like, hey man, you over there drinking out the red cup? I don't want to wash no cups. That's why I'm drinking out the red cup. And this is the crazy thing is about it. I got this bar behind with all this alcohol on it, and I don't even drink. Like I seldom drink. I drink like every blue moon. I might drink. You know what I'm talking about? Literally, this here is basically for the ambiance of the room. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be like our little bar area and stuff like that. But anyway, getting back on subject, man. Yeah, Alto was an evil place, man. Everything about it was evil. You know what I mean? Not all the people was evil. I met some of my lifelong friends, though. People that I call my brother, people I love with all my heart. You know what I mean? Seriously. They like family members to me because we basically growed up together. But it was evil things and evil deeds and some evil people that did evil things because that's all they knew how to do. But I tried to make a change. You know, one of the things that reason why I like this platform, I'm going to give you an example, man. My last few years, I started working in the school. And that's why when I was working in school, my homie got me over there. I was like, bro, them folks ain't gonna let me over there, man. I got all types of stuff in my jacket, cussing out police. I've been to pen investigation. I've been assault charges, and I got all type of goddamn, man. My DR goddamn list was crazy. And he was like, man, I get you over there. He got me over there, too. And when I got over there, And by you being known for, you know, being a stand-up guy and stuff like that. But I always been laid back, cool in the cut. I'm a player. I ain't on that. You know what I mean? I'm a player type dude. I ain't on that. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna handle the business when the business need to get took care of. But other than that, man, I prefer to have just as much peace around me as possible, and everybody knew that. But you know, like the thing that when I got over there and I started seeing the opportunity to talk to these young guys and try to deter them from making the same mistakes that the predecessors, and even though they was in aggressive dorms or places where people were trying to influence them to join in on what that nonsense they got going on. And I tried. I honestly tried. But I'm telling you one of the things that I remember that made me happy that and started giving me an understanding of why I had to be there and why I'm doing this platform now is because when I was actually at I was on the street. We was on the street. It was a guy that was in the school building with me. He had called me on the street. He like, man, what's up, D? I'm like, what's going on, man? What's good with you? He said, man, I'm at home, man, working with my kids. This brother's no longer with us, neither. You know what I mean? He was unalive. But yeah, he said, I'm at home working with my kids, trying to helping them with their homework. And man, it made me feel so good because I was telling my girl that, man, my big homie D, man, he helped me get my GED, he helped me do that, man. He learned me how to do all this stuff, man. Cause dude had said, man, I'm through hanging with these cats over here doing whatever they doing. You gotta send it to this with you and you show me how that I can go about getting my GED. I sat down with him, you know what I mean? And helped him out, bro. And he got the GED. He had been in school about 3 years at the first try after working with me, he got it. The man hugged me, man. But he called me and told me that, man. And that made me feel proud, bro. That made me feel proud because it means that I made a difference in somebody's life. And he was given the opportunity to pass that forward on to his children. But then, you know, when I heard that brother got unalive, doing the things that I was trying to do by intervening and stopping something from happening, how he lost his life, it tore at me. So this is what this platform is actually about. And the stories that I tell is just an example of what can happen, how it can happen. But this is what these stories about. When that brother, they told me how that brother lost his life, man. But I'm trying to reach the brother who took his life before he takes a life. If you understand what I'm saying. I want to reach that guy. I want to reach you before you get out there and get out that gun, pull that trigger, bro. You are the ones I'm talking to, man. Y'all, man, I'm doing this, man. We gonna do this. And I'm gonna entertain y'all. We gonna laugh. We gonna joke. And then sometime, man, we gonna cry together, bro. I got y'all, man. I refuse to allow the evil of Alto to destroy me. And I refuse to allow comments of people who were negative outlook of this and thinking that, oh, this man telling all these guys, these homosexual activities about prison. I'm telling you the real, bro. I'm telling you what went through me, what I went through. Check that trauma out, man. How it mutates your thought process. How things that you go through life make you change how you look. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. Ever experienced anything like that in my life. And I pray to God that I never will again. And I pray to God that anybody who hears my voice never had to go through that. Whatever you are doing wrong, man, find a way out of it, man. Please step away from that, man. Because even though Alto no longer there, and the predatory goddamn activity in prison have decreased significantly, it's still there. But if y'all thinking these stories cap, or you might thinking I'm over-exaggerating what was going on down there and making it seem like it's something that it ain't, that you ain't never heard of no place that being as violent, and to that point of where I'm saying, there is a class action suit. Lee Arundel State Prison, class action suit. Go look it up. It's on the internet. Lee Arundel class action suit. And you can pull it up and you can see documented cases of people who had been stabbed, sexually assaulted, beaten in the head with locks, and all the other things that goes on up in that place, man. I'm just telling you what the truth is, bro. I'm just getting it to you raw and uncut. And I seen a lot that I wish I could unsee. But now that I seen it, and now that I had a chance to break it down and analyze it, now I start understanding that the evil of Alto was the evil of Alto. It was that place. And the people who succumbed to it and fell weak to it was weak. Everybody's not have that warrior mentality. And if you on the street right now, don't succumb. Don't be weak. You don't have to be born with warrior mentality. It's just about changing your mentality to be a warrior. And being a warrior means that you're going to stand strong on your integrity and your beliefs. Until the next time, man. Big D and Charlie, man. Also, man, I'm going to put out more content. Changes to the channel is coming. I am going to put out more content. More content is coming. I'm going to start being more dedicated to this channel like y'all been dedicated to me, man. And the next time you see this mug, I'm probably going to take a break after this video and I'm going to drop a prison story. So if you see me with the same, that means that what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I am a Seminole fan before you ask. I also a Georgia Bulldog fan, but I throw the Seminoles on because they need help because they sorry. I don't trust the coach. But anyway, till the next time, man. One.